Your home is more than just a place to sleep, eat, and relax. It's the center of your life energy, a space that quietly shapes your mood, your health, and even your luck. Most of us go through daily routines, like sweeping the floor, without a second thought. But what if those small, seemingly ordinary actions had a deeper impact than we realized? In Eastern Feng Shui, every action inside your living space is believed to influence the energy field of the home. It's not just about where things are placed, but how you interact with the space. In Buddhist thought, the home is seen as a kind of intermediate body, a reflection of your inner state, that can either support or disturb your spiritual balance. Modern science offers a surprisingly similar view. Environmental studies show that your living environment directly affects your circadian rhythms, hormone levels, stress response, and overall mental well-being. Something as simple as how and when you clean can have ripple effects on your clarity, mood, and even productivity. Done with awareness, even sweeping the floor becomes a way to support your personal well-being. That brings us to today's topic, timing. The moment you choose to sweep your home might actually influence whether you're holding on to good energy or unknowingly pushing it away. It's one of those small habits that can quietly shape the harmony, luck, and health of your household. If you find this topic helpful, or it gives you a new perspective on your daily routine, feel free to click like or subscribe to the channel. It's a simple way to stay connected and to keep learning together about how small changes at home can lead to a calmer, healthier, more balanced life. Forbidden hours, when you should never sweep. When we sweep the house, most of us think we're just cleaning up the floor, getting rid of dust, crumbs, maybe some pet hair, but there's actually more going on beneath the surface. Have you ever noticed that after a good sweep, the whole place feels lighter, like it can breathe again? That feeling isn't just in your head. In many cultures, sweeping is seen as more than just cleaning. It's a way of moving energy around. Here's something interesting. Some families who run small businesses have shared that, oddly enough, things slow down after they sweep the house at night. Their business suddenly feels stuck or sluggish. And if you're only thinking in terms of physical causes, this seems impossible. But if you look at it from an energetic perspective, especially through the lens of Feng Shui, it actually starts to make sense. In Feng Shui, there's a concept called qi. You can think of it as invisible energy that flows through everything. Our homes, our bodies, even our relationships. It's believed to affect our health, our happiness, and even our finances. When you sweep the house, you're not just removing physical dirt, you're also touching that flow of qi. And depending on how and when you do it, you could be helping it move smoothly, or disrupting it. That's why some people are cautious about sweeping at night. In Feng Shui, nighttime is when energy settles down and restores itself. Kind of like how we sleep to recharge. Sweeping during this time can stir things up in a way that's not helpful. It can scatter energy that should be resting. So, if you've ever felt like things got a bit off after a nighttime cleaning, this might be why. It's not superstition. It's more like tuning into a rhythm that's already there, whether we notice it or not. Now, let's take a look at how this idea shows up in other cultures. In Hindu tradition, sweeping is more than just a chore. It's a spiritual act. It's usually done early in the morning, right around dawn. Why? Because that's believed to be the time when Goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and good fortune, walks through the world. Cleaning the house at this time is like preparing the space to welcome her in. On the flip side, sweeping at night is seen as sweeping away luck and prosperity. So again, it's not just what we do, but when we do it that matters. There's also a spiritual perspective that says our living spaces absorb emotional energy. Think about how some rooms feel heavy after a tough day or an argument. Even if everything looks neat, the space just feels off. That's because emotions, especially strong ones, leave an energetic trace. Sweeping, especially when done with a calm and clear intention, can help release that built-up emotional weight. But again, timing plays a role. If the house is energetically asleep, trying to move things around might not have the effect you want. It could just make things feel stuck in a different way. Now, I'm not saying we need to be afraid of our brooms or worry every time we clean, but it's worth remembering that not everything we experience is visible. Just because we can't see energy doesn't mean it's not real. Think about things like Wi-Fi or radio waves. They're invisible too, but they still have a strong impact. So next time you pick up the broom, just take a moment to think about the time of day, your mood, and how your space feels. Are you sweeping to clear clutter, or to reset the energy in your home? Are you making space for something better to come in? A clean house is great, but a house that feels good, where the energy flows well, now that makes all the difference. Sometimes, a simple act like sweeping, done at the right time, can quietly shift things in a big way. Sweeping at night and dawn, hidden spiritual risks. There's an old belief in many cultures that not every time is a good time to clean your house, especially when it comes to sweeping. While it might sound odd to those hearing it for the first time, the timing of such a simple act can carry real weight, especially if you look at it through the lens of energy, tradition, and even a bit of science. 2 timeframes in particular are considered highly inauspicious for sweeping: between 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. and after 7 p.m. But why? Let's start with the early morning hours, 3 to 5 a.m. In Taoist thought, this is what's known as the ghost gate hour. It's a time when the boundary between the yin, shadow, stillness, the spiritual world, and the yang, light, life, activity, is at its thinnest. The veil between the physical and the unseen becomes more transparent. If that sounds eerie, it kind of is. According to this belief, this time of night isn't meant for movement or disruption. It's a sacred, quiet window when spiritual energy is active, and we're better off resting than disturbing it. From a scientific perspective, this actually lines up with what's happening in the body. Between 3 and 5 a.m., our vital systems are at their lowest point. Blood pressure drops, body temperature is cooler, and our organs are basically in a maintenance mode. If you've ever woken up around this time, feeling disoriented or weak, that's why. Sweeping during this vulnerable phase doesn't just disturb your physical rest, it can also shake the subtle energy in the home, potentially spreading stagnant or heavy yin energy. Rather than clearing it, instead of refreshing your space, it could leave it feeling even more unsettled. Now, what about after 7 p.m.? This one's more commonly talked about, especially among those familiar with feng shui principles. After sunset, the home is believed to enter what's called a yin phase, where energy naturally begins to settle and contract. It's the part of the day when the house should quiet down, hold on to the good energy it's collected, and allow it to restore itself. Think of it like charging a battery. If you keep disturbing it, you prevent it from storing what it needs. Sweeping at this time can scatter the energy you've worked all day to build up. In feng shui terms, you're pushing out the good qi that's finally begun to settle. You may not see anything change right away, but over time, it could show up as tiredness, mood swings, or even a feeling that things just aren't flowing well in life or work. And really, who hasn't felt that off energy in their home at some point? Religious and spiritual traditions often reinforce this idea too. In many faiths, evenings are not the time for big tasks or purifying rituals. Whether it's Catholic, Buddhist, or indigenous spiritual practices, the night is seen as a time for rest, reflection, and connection to the unseen, not for stirring things up. Actions like sweeping, especially when done with force or haste, can unintentionally disrupt the stillness that these hours are meant to bring. That doesn't mean you have to tiptoe around your home at night. But maybe it's worth treating your living space like more than just four walls. It holds your stories, your stress, your hopes, and the way you treat it, when you move things, when you clean, affects how it holds you in return. So the next time you feel the urge to grab a broom late at night, or in the quiet hours before dawn, maybe pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this the right time? Or can it wait a few hours? A clean house is good, but a house that supports your energy and protects your peace, that's something even better. Negative health effects of sweeping at the wrong time. Sweeping the house seems harmless enough, right? Just a quick tidy up to keep things clean. But believe it or not, the timing of this everyday chore can actually affect your health, especially if you're doing it late at night or during the early morning hours. It's not just old superstition. There's real logic behind it, and even some traditional medical thinking to back it up. In classical Eastern medicine, there's a saying, the lung governs the skin and body hair, which means the lungs are in charge of the skin and body's outer defenses. In other words, our lungs are deeply connected to our environment. The air we breathe, the particles we inhale, they all go straight to the lungs, which then influence the rest of our health. So when you sweep the house, during hours when yin energy, cold, damp, and still, is strongest, especially at night, you're likely stirring up dust and fine particles when your body is least prepared to handle them. This matters even more in households with young children or older adults. Their lungs are more sensitive, and their immune systems less able to filter out the junk stirred up during late-night cleaning. You might not see the effects immediately, but if you, or someone in your home, starts coughing more often, dealing with sinus irritation, or getting hit with unexplained fatigue, it's worth taking a closer look at when the cleaning is happening. Now, mix that with American climate conditions, especially in places with damp winters, poor ventilation, or frequent indoor heating, and you've got the perfect setup for mold spores and stale air to settle in. Sweeping at night doesn't just stir up dust, it can also circulate moisture and unpleasant odors that cling to fabric and walls. Once they're in the air, they're easy to breathe in, especially when windows are shut tight and airflow is limited. People don't always connect the dots, but there's a reason many folks report feeling off after a nighttime cleaning session. Trouble sleeping, unexplained tiredness, even irritability. They're all possible signs of what traditional wisdom calls qi stagnation, or stagnant energy. It's not dramatic, but it builds up over time. A restless night here, a lingering cough there, and suddenly your home isn't the restful place it's supposed to be. So while it might be tempting to clean up after dinner, or squeeze in some chores before bed, try saving the sweeping for the morning or early afternoon. Your lungs and your sleep might just thank you for it. Why sweeping on the first day or New Year is bad luck. In many Asian households, especially those rooted in Vietnamese and Chinese traditions, there's a quiet rule that shows up like clockwork every month. Don't sweep the house on the first day of the lunar calendar. And when it comes to the Lunar New Year, that rule becomes even stricter. It's not about being lazy or putting off chores. It's about energy, prosperity, and a deep cultural respect for how things begin. Let's start with the first day of any lunar month. Known as the first lunar day, it's considered the opening of energy for the whole month. A fresh start, not just symbolically, but energetically. According to Feng Shui, this is when the new flow of vital energy enters the home. For families who run a business, or rely on good fortune to carry them through the month, this day is treated with extra care. The belief is simple but powerful. If you sweep the floor on this day, you're sweeping away that fresh, incoming energy The very thing that could bring blessings, good luck, or financial flow in the days ahead. In the world of business, this matters even more. The first day sets the tone. Some shop owners burn incense, or offer prayers to welcome good fortune. To sweep the floor during this time is seen almost like telling opportunity it's not welcome. Instead of clearing space, you might be clearing out your luck. Whether or not you believe in vital energy, there's something very human about wanting to protect the spark of a new beginning. It's like not opening bills on your birthday. Some things can wait. Then we get to the Lunar New Year, the most important holiday of the year in Vietnamese culture. Traditions during this time run deep, and one of the most widely observed customs is avoiding sweeping or throwing out the trash from midnight on New Year's Eve until the end of the first day. Why? Because that's when the year's first fortune is believed to arrive. It's said that this fortune is self-generating, meaning the longer you hold on to it, the more it gathers. Sweep too early, and you're sending that prosperity straight out the door, before it's had a chance to grow. Many families take this seriously. Even if the house is spotless the day before, people make a point to leave it untouched through the first day. Some even collect dust into a corner, rather than sweep it away, just to avoid pushing luck out. It's a symbolic gesture, sure, but symbols carry weight. They shape our mood, our outlook, even how we treat others. Buddhist perspectives support this kind of stillness, too. Sacred days, especially ones like the Lunar New Year, are not times for physical hustle or stirring up the energy of the home. Instead, they're for mindfulness, reflection, and gratitude. Buddhist teachings often emphasize the importance of not disturbing peaceful environments, especially when they're charged with spiritual significance. In this view, sweeping isn't just cleaning, it's a disruption. And on a day meant for harmony and spiritual alignment, even small disruptions can ripple out in ways we might not notice at first. Now, is it the end of the world if someone accidentally sweeps on the first lunar day? Of course not. Life happens. But there's something comforting, even grounding, about aligning our routines with intention. These customs aren't meant to restrict. They're reminders to slow down, to treat new beginnings with care, and to recognize that even simple actions carry meaning. So if you find yourself reaching for a broom on the first day of the lunar month, maybe pause. Let the energy settle. Let the luck take root. There's always tomorrow to clean, but days like this only come once a month, or once a year. The right direction to sweep for wealth retention. Sweeping the floor seems simple enough. Dust, sweep, toss it out. But according to feng shui principles, how you sweep and where you direct that energy matters just as much as the act itself. It's not just about cleaning up physical mess. It's about protecting and guiding the energy flow in your space. And if you're sweeping the wrong way, you could be unintentionally pushing good energy, even prosperity, right out the door. One of the core recommendations in feng shui is to sweep from the outside inward. That means instead of pushing dust and debris toward the door, you move it inward, collecting it in a central spot inside the home. The idea behind this is to gather in good energy, keeping positive energy, also known as qi, flowing into your space, rather than out of it. By sweeping inward, you're symbolically pulling luck and vitality into your home. Unfortunately, a lot of people do the opposite. The most common mistake: sweeping from the back of the house, straight out the front door. It may feel more efficient, but energetically, it's like opening the door and waving goodbye to your fortune. It sends a message, intentionally or not, that you're ready to let go of what the house has collected, including the blessings, the good mood, even financial luck. So, what's the right way to go about it? Start by gathering dust and debris into one spot inside the home. Don't aim the broom straight at the main entrance. Instead, Guide everything toward a corner or an area away from the door. Use a dustpan to collect and remove the trash. If your home has a side door or back exit, use that route to take the trash out. Leaving the front door undisturbed helps keep the energetic welcome mat intact. Retail shops in particular, pay close attention to this practice. It's common for store owners, especially those who've grown up with feng shui traditions, to sweep the sidewalk in the morning and then push the broom inward from the front of the shop into the heart of the space. It's not just about looking tidy, it's a ritual that gathers money luck and sets the tone for the day. Many believe this small morning habit contributes to smoother business, better customer flow, and fewer disruptions. Even if you're not running a business, this approach can shift how your home feels. The small, mindful act of directing energy inward can help create a sense of calm and support in your space. Think of it as making room for good things to come in and stay. In the end, sweeping isn't just about dusting off the floor, it's about shaping the energy of the place you live in. When you're thoughtful about the direction you sweep, you're also being thoughtful about what kind of energy you want to invite into your life. And sometimes, it's the smallest habits, done with intention, that end up making the biggest difference. Proper broom storage and trash disposal in feng shui. The broom might seem like the most ordinary tool in your home, but in many cultural and energetic traditions, it's anything but. More than just something to sweep with. The broom is seen as a symbol of cleansing, physically and energetically. That's why how you store it, when you use it, and even when you take out the trash, can carry more meaning than most people realize. Let's start with the broom itself. It represents the act of clearing out what's no longer needed, whether that's dust, emotional heaviness, or stuck energy in a space. Because of this, it's considered a tool of strong movement and transformation. That's also why it shouldn't be stored carelessly. A common mistake is placing the broom standing upright or leaning it near the front door. From a feng shui standpoint, this sends all the wrong signals. The front door is where positive energy enters your home, and having a broom nearby, an object tied to removal and cleansing, can create the feeling that blessings are being pushed away the moment they arrive. Even worse, if someone places the broom bristles up, it's believed to scatter energy upward in a chaotic way, rather than grounding it. Instead, keep the broom stored in a discreet place, preferably in the back of the house, in a closet or storage area. It should be out of direct sight, especially from the main entrance or shared living areas. This keeps its strong cleansing energy contained until you're ready to use it. It also helps prevent it from absorbing unnecessary energy during the day, especially from visitors or daily movement. And then there's the matter of old brooms. Over time, as a broom is used to sweep away, not just dirt, but negative or stagnant energy, it's believed to collect and hold on to that energy. A worn, overused broom can start to feel heavy, not just physically, but energetically. That's why it's a good idea to replace your broom every so often, especially if the bristles are worn down, or if the broom has been used during periods of stress or illness in the household. Fresh tool, fresh energy. Now let's talk trash, literally. When you take out the garbage, actually matters. Morning is considered the best time to do it. That's when yang energy, associated with light, action, and growth, starts to rise. Taking out the trash early helps release any stagnant energy left from the night, and makes space for fresh energy to circulate throughout the day. At night, it's a different story. Evening is when yin energy becomes dominant, quiet, calm, and settling. Disrupting that stillness by dumping garbage is seen as pushing out what you've gathered during the day. Your efforts, your blessings, even your good fortune. Some believe that throwing trash away at night is like tossing out wealth. Just as it's had a chance to settle and grow. These small choices. Where you keep your broom. How often you replace it. When you take out the trash. Might seem like details. But in the bigger picture of how your home feels and supports you, they matter more than most people think. A little intention goes a long way. Treating your tools with care shows respect not just for your space, but for the energy you live with every day. How your emotions affect energy while cleaning. Sweeping the house might seem like a purely physical task. Just you, a broom, and some dust. But in truth, your mood while doing it plays a big role in shaping the energy that lingers afterward. It's not just about what you're clearing away, but how you're doing it. And more importantly, how you feel while doing it. In applied feng shui, there's a strong belief that the emotions of the person doing the cleaning are transferred into the space. If you're sweeping while feeling calm and centered, your energy gently flows into the environment, creating a sense of peace and renewal. On the other hand, if you're frustrated, sad, or overwhelmed, that emotional state doesn't stay with you. It lingers in the space, and others can feel it too, often without knowing why. This idea also lines up with what's known in emotional psychology as affect theory, the understanding that human emotions are not just personal experiences, but contagious energies that influence our surroundings. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt tension, even though no one was speaking? That's affect in action. And the same thing applies when someone is cleaning. A person sweeping in a gloomy, agitated state may unintentionally brush that mood into the corners of the room. That's why it's often recommended to clean only when your mind is clear or your heart feels light. Of course, we all have days when we're not in the best mood, but if you're going to do something like sweep, a task that touches the entire energetic flow of your home, it's worth waiting until you feel a bit more settled. There are simple ways to help shift your mood before or during the process. Try putting on soft music, something instrumental or nature-based. Sounds of flowing water, birdsong, gentle wind. These sounds naturally ease the nervous system and bring the mind into a more peaceful state. Even the act of breathing deeply and moving slowly can help turn sweeping into more of a calming ritual than just a chore. Think of it like this. Sweeping isn't just about getting rid of mess. It can be a way of resetting your space, like hitting refresh, not only for the room, but for yourself. If you approach it with intention, you might even find it meditative. It becomes a quiet moment to release not only physical dust, but emotional clutter too. Some people light a candle or say a small affirmation before they begin. Others simply move with mindfulness, focusing on each motion, as if they're inviting in new energy with every sweep. These small actions can turn a routine task into a meaningful ritual. It's not just about having a clean floor, it's about creating a home that feels good to be in. So next time you find yourself picking up the broom, take a moment to check in with yourself. Are you tense, rushed, or irritated? Maybe pause, grab a glass of water, take a few deep breaths, or play something soothing in the background. And when you're ready, sweep like you're making space for something better. Because in many ways, you are. In the end, the state of your home often reflects the state of your inner world. And with something as simple as sweeping, you have a quiet opportunity to shift both. Enhancing positive energy with scents, light, and plants. Creating a home that feels balanced, welcoming, and full of good energy doesn't just come down to how clean it is. In feng shui and spiritual traditions across many cultures, the atmosphere of a space, its scent, light, and the presence of natural elements can deeply influence how we feel, how energy flows, and even how well we rest, work, or connect with others in that space. 3 key allies in shaping that energy are natural fragrance, sunlight, and indoor plants. Together, they're more than just decoration. They're tools for harmony. Let's start with scent. Natural aromas like lemongrass, orange, and lavender essential oils do more than just make the room smell nice. They help clear out stagnant or negative energy, making space for clarity and peace. Lemongrass, in particular, is often used in energy cleansing rituals across Southeast Asia, thanks to its sharp, clean scent and purifying properties. Orange oil is uplifting and warm, great for inviting joy and lightness, while lavender soothes tension, supporting emotional balance. In Hinduism and Tibetan Buddhism, fragrance is also seen as a spiritual connector, a way to bridge the physical and the divine. Incense and essential oils are used, not just to freshen the air, but to sanctify it. When you scent your space with intention, you're not just covering up odors, you're tuning the space, helping it resonate with higher, calmer frequencies. Next up is natural light, one of the most powerful and underrated elements in creating a healthy home. In Feng Shui, sunlight is a symbol of yang energy, active, vibrant, life-giving. When you open your windows in the morning, you're doing more than just letting in air. You're letting in light. That washes your space in warmth and motion, helping to push out any lingering heaviness from the night before. That's why it's especially helpful to open the curtains or windows when sweeping the house. You're working with light, not just brooms, to refresh your environment. If your home is dark or lacks access to natural sunlight, even a simple shift in how you use lamps can make a difference. Choose warm light tones and avoid overly dim corners where energy can feel stuck or low. Light wakes things up, not just for plants and bodies, but for energy, too. Then there's greenery. Plants are living, breathing energy filters. They do more than clean the air. They absorb heavy, stale, or even chaotic energy in a space. Certain plants are especially favored in Feng Shui for their ability to attract prosperity and balance the room's energy. Money tree, pothose, and snake plant are a few common choices. The money tree is said to bring wealth and abundance. Pothose, with its cascading green vines, softens energy and is especially good in rooms where there's been stress or conflict. The snake plant, with its upright, sword-like leaves, is known for its protective qualities. It stands guard while quietly purifying the air. What's more, all three are easy to care for, making them perfect companions. Even if you're not a seasoned plant lover, it's also worth noting that the act of caring for plants, watering them, pruning them, watching them grow, connects you to the present moment. That in itself is grounding. In homes where people feel scattered or disconnected, bringing in a few healthy plants can start to shift that mood with surprising speed. So, how do you bring this all together? Imagine starting your day by opening the windows to let in fresh air and sunlight. You put a few drops of lemongrass oil into a diffuser and take a deep breath. As the scent fills the room, you glance over at your favorite plant and notice a new leaf has unfurled. Maybe you sweep the floor slowly, with calm music playing in the background, letting the light guide your rhythm. It's a small scene, but one full of quiet power. These aren't just routines. They're rituals that support the kind of energy you want to live with. Whether you're focused on health, peace, abundance, or simply feeling more at ease in your own home, scent, light, and greenery can help you get there, not through force, but by gently, steadily, tuning your space to work with you, not against you. Sweeping the floor might look like a simple household chore, but when done with intention, it becomes something much more, a quiet ritual that shapes the energy of your home. As we've explored, the timing, the direction, and even your mood while cleaning all carry weight. Sweep at the right time, with a calm mind and purposeful movement, And you're not just removing dust. You're inviting in clarity, luck, health, and peace. From a researcher's perspective, it's worth remembering that traditional customs often come from generations of lived wisdom. They're not random rules. They're observations passed down over centuries, rooted in how humans interact with their surroundings. When we apply feng shui principles in a thoughtful, grounded way, we're not being superstitious. We're choosing to live in tune with natural rhythms of time, energy, and space. And that's the takeaway. Even the smallest actions carry energy. A broom in your hand can be more than just a tool. It can be part of a daily reset, a fresh start, a mindful practice. So why not treat sweeping as more than a chore? Make it a gentle ritual to start your day, with intention, grounding, and a bit of good luck. If this perspective helped shift the way you see your home, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think. And who knows, maybe it'll inspire someone else to see everyday tasks in a whole new light.